Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chorizo Bros. This is Joseph back at it again. I'm joined by a brand new chorizo sis today. Michaela's joining us. Thank you so much for helping me out today. I've been trying to get you on the show forever, and we finally agreed on what project we should work on. Guys, what we're going to do for the show today is what we normally do. We're going to do a quick 5-star spoiler-free review for both things real quick. And then after that, we're going to go knee-deep into the discussion, meaning we're going to talk spoilers. After the 5-star part, we're just going to proceed as though you've read and or watched the movie all the way through and don't care about spoilers. So why don't you start us off with a 5-star review of the book, and then you can do a quick 5-star of the movie, and then I'll do my part, and then we'll just jump into the discussion. Any parameters you want.
I think Rosemary's Baby is like right up there at a 4. It's a foundation of horror. Like, it led the way for movies like The Omen and The Exorcist. It was one of the first things, and even the movie was one of the first things that was created of its genre and at its level. It was shocking then, and it's still shocking today. So it's very relevant. Even the movie is still very unsettling. It doesn't have that same grotesque, gory element that we see in a lot of horror now, but it still has that uneasy, tense feeling to it. Just generally, I think the movie, I would put it like a 3-star just because it's a little slow, but that's also probably the style of the time.
Yeah, what was it, 1968?
Yeah.
The movie came out? Yeah. It was like a year after the book was published.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Happened really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got any more to add before we go to the discussion part? That's the best part, by the way.
No,
not really.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For me, I'm gonna land at a pretty solid 4.5 for the book. It had everything I wanted in what I knew the story was. I'd seen the movie first, like many years ago, and then upon reading it again, watching the movie, so I knew what the twists and stuff were gonna be. I didn't realize it was such a faithful adaptation, which is kind of shocking. But the book, standalone, 4.5. The pacing is done really well. You would think it would get boring, being that it mostly takes place in an apartment, but being inside her head is, for me, way better than how it's paced in the movie. So that was a treat to just be like, okay, I'm really in her head and I'm seeing, and it's planting all these seeds along the way. And I found that to be really compelling. And then the movie, I'm going to be unpopular here. I'm going to say a 2. Even though it, like you said, paved the way, it's going to be a classic, and I totally respect that. But man, it was boring. Even though I liked the acting, Mia Farrow did a fantastic job. Some of the shots were interesting, but overall, without being in her head and seeing her thoughts, it's kind of bland. It fell flat for me in that way. And I may be one of the few that it's not really working for. I don't know. I think the book is fantastic. The movie is kind of lackluster, even though it's as faithful as possible. I think I can't name another project that's as close, from book to screen as this, and yet I found it not as fun. Isn't that weird? I was actually kind of shocked by my assessment of that.
I think it's the level of realism. Reading it, like you said, you can put yourself in her head. You feel that anxiety and see all the little things. There's so much more described about the pain that she's feeling throughout her pregnancy. Sure. There's a lot more. There's parts where you see her character arc happen, just tiny little scenes that aren't included in the movie. Very few, but a couple.
Yeah.
And it just makes her seem like a more round character.
Yeah, I do. She does seem a little more fleshed out. Because there is the big difference in the middle of the story, at least, was after we're in the spoiler part, guys, and trigger warning for some very uncomfortable things, and it's going to get wild because we're going to talk about Roman Polanski at some point, so there's going to be some stuff that we got to drop. So not for the faint of heart and some of the things we're going to discuss. But there is the part where Rosemary wakes up from the fever dream after they drug her moose or whatever. The actual impregnation scene. And after that in the book, she leaves him because she doesn't like that he took advantage of her while she was passed out or knocked out or whatever. And she needs a few days to think about it. There's scenes where she talks to her sister and they really flesh out the Catholic guilt part. So, yeah, I think that was really needed for me to kind of feel for her a little bit more. And having the perspective and the thoughts is a big deal for me as far as, I don't know, maybe I needed a little bit more spelled out. Because I guess you can watch the movie and sort of put it together that that's how she feels, but I liked reading it better.
There isn't much about like her upbringing or her family or like her ties to her Catholic religion in the movie. Like she has these weird little fugue states where she like in the scene you're talking about earlier, she has a moment where she has to beg the Catholic priest or the Pope for forgiveness.
Right.
And that's like briefly mentioned on, but I think in the book she's a lot more Catholic.
Well, there is a line where they're at the God, what's his name? Roman and Minnie. What are their last names?
The Castevets.
Yeah, the Castevets. Whenever they're at their place for dinner, they start talking about the Pope visiting. And she like kind of gets offended, or she reacts to them kind of poking fun at the Pope. Mm-hmm. And she's like, and it's a very small, like kind of one line where the Catholic thing comes up, but she's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't really believe, but like, you know, I still feel something. Or there's some kind of line where she just says it, so you know that's there.
Respect for the Pope,
right?
Yeah,
she doesn't want to say anything disparaging about him, or is uncomfortable with somebody doing it around her. And then there's more to be made about Guy being not Catholic. That comes up multiple times in the book. So
right,
this is a pretty big piece of her character that is lacking in the movie. Like it's deep. That kind of stuff runs deep. Growing up Catholic myself, that and then abandoning it, there is. It never really leaves you. There's something about our upbringing that it never really leaves you. However much you can change your opinion about it, it's still in there.
Yeah, and it fits the whole theme because like Rosemary's always experienced some kind of control in her life. Like she has some sort of line that she has to follow, and it makes her submissive, and like it kind of paints her as a weak character. Like not her devotion to religion, but the way it's painted is very like sinister. Not like it was a positive influence in her life,
right?
Like it was more of a means of control and like an example of just her being sort of a passerby, like a standby in her own life.
Right. I mean, the Catholicism is literally a patriarchy.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's...
Yeah. And that, the author, Levin...
What is it? Ira Levin?
Ira Levin, I think is... I've heard Ira Levin.
Yeah.
I
never heard anyone say it out loud.
Thing.
Ira Levin?
He's Jewish, so I'm assuming Ira...
Yeah, interesting, because he caught the Catholic guilt thing pretty good.
Well, he's actually an atheist. He's a non-practicing
Sure.
Jew.
Go ahead and bring one of your talking points in. I've got a kind of list of kind of topics that were just kind of fun that I noticed. And sometimes some of it's just like random trivia stuff.
Okay.
But I know you had some pretty serious stuff that you kind of mentioned to me in passing, where we were kind of like, oh, we're going to talk about Rosemary's Baby. And you're like, you were kind of hitting on some pretty major stuff. I'd like to hear more about that. I'd like you to share it with them.
I mean, there's the obvious religious connections. Like we were talking about, like her relationship with Catholicism, and the book as a whole flips the whole like Virgin Mary thing on its head. It replaces that dynamic and like shows it from like the devil being the source of power there, with the impregnation of Rosemary, even her name, Rosemary. She's the intended Virgin Mary. She's pictured in blue and white in the movie all the time, which is like the Virgin Mary's colors. Colors are a big thing, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah, yellow is a big one in there too.
Yellow is huge. It's like Rosemary's founding color, and then red is always the influence of the devil. But the religious themes, I find it interesting that Ira Levin is an atheist. He really didn't want to like paint it as any kind of realism. In interviews, he talks about like his regrets being on like encouraging religious fundamentalism and like it sort of fueling this idea that this was something real that could happen. It created a fervor for like satanic panic. And
was this the beginning of this
that.
satanic panic?
It was. I think the Church of Satan was founded like a year before the book.
It was earlier than this because there's a call out to it, and it's subtle. You're probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
The day that the baby's born.
No, but
okay.
That's Number of the Beast 666.
Oh,
it's
yes.
supposed to be June 1966, right? No, there's a kind of subtle call to the Church of Satan. There's a scene where you can see Rosemary reading a book called Yes I Can by Sammy Davis Jr. And he notably was in the Church of Satan for a period of time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a call to the literal Church of Satan. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm trying to think of like where Satanic Panic really started, and I'm like, yeah, this. It seems like this is about where it was.
It was a number.
Because I mean, it went all the way to into D&D and stuff. I mean, this thing lasted for a long time, where everything was Satan, everything was scary.
Right.
He is an atheist and grew up. Did he grow up Jewish, or he just happens to be like?
He grew up like not practicing. So like in a Jewish family.
So secular.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Does that lend to the Catholic horror, or is it missing something because of that? Because I would not have guessed it. Now I could tell by his name.
I don't think it's missing anything. I think he did his research pretty well.
It does feel that way, right?
But I do think it's interesting because the book was written more as like just an entertaining story. Like he was just looking for something sensational, something that would shock people. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily like meant to be a warning against satanic culture. It's not meant to necessarily make like the Church of Satan the enemy, even though the antagonists are the Satanists. He just kind of did it for fun, and it had such a huge impact on the way people felt about like satanic stuff and all.
Right, anything that could be.
Yeah, the content, the movies that were being created.
Yeah. Everything
that would happen afterwards.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was talking to Arian, who's been on the show. I forgot to take down that Arnold Schwarzenegger poster because we talked about it in an Arnie movie. That's normally not there.
If it.
But I was talking to Arian about some. I think I mentioned that you and I were going to talk about this, and I was like, wow, you know what I never considered is like, and I don't know why it would matter that I would consider this, but I was thinking, well, he didn't grow up with Christianity, even not even just Catholicism, not even Christianity. So like, I was like, what does that even mean? Going to a movie and being like, oh, they're talking about the Pope and the devil and they're doing all this stuff without having like the context. And he was like, oh, they're great movies, whatever. But it's just funny because like they mean something. I feel like for us that grew up with it. The Exorcist was one of those movies that they acted like was so fucking scary when we were kids. And The Omen, of course, is another Antichrist story. Right. So this like Catholic horror is really unique, and I kind of want to. It's kind of making me want to like go watch them again or go read them again. And when I was talking to Arian about it, it was just funny because I was like, wow, you don't have the extra sense that like you're treated. They treat it as though it's real. They very much want you to believe that like Satan's a living, breathing thing.
Fear in you.
Yeah, so it's hard to be like what do you guys perceive it as? I don't know.
Yeah, growing up religious like you do, it has that realism, and I think that time, like the 1960s, it was so real for so many people, which is like why it was so effective. It seemed like something that could happen to you if you veered too far into the dark side. Like you might wind up in a satanic cult.
What she's not doing, and that's the thing, is she's like a lamb to the slaughter. She's not doing anything. She seems very innocent. You know, she seems very pure. She's just like a normal person. There's nothing, you don't see a dark side in her.
No.
So like that's what makes this sort of tragic is, you know, it's because it's someone that's like that. And that's why maybe the realism of like, yeah, you don't even have to be, that's where some of the fear is. You don't even have to be into evil things to, this thing can just find you.
for someone to take advantage of you and manipulate you, like
to find out that at every turn people are against you. It's like a weird like paranoia. I was thinking, imagine not knowing that everybody is against you in this, or there's this like plan that you don't even know that you're a part of, which is really interesting about, because you told me they were doing like not a remake but like a spin-off, didn't you tell me? It's called Apartment 7A. I think you mentioned something to me. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's about the young lady that she meets in the laundry room.
Right. The one who jumps
dancer
out of the window of the Castavets building.
Right. So that story, her story, I didn't watch this remake, but what we find in the book, and she's like, yeah, well, they kind of found me. I was kind of destitute. I was on drugs or she's whatever. They literally found me on the streets and they saved me. So that's like, did she have an idea of what was going on? Or did she find out as it was happening? Or did they go, oh, we have a better vessel for the Antichrist, so they pushed her out of a window? It doesn't explain to you what happened there. So you're left, what did you think? What did you think about they find her having, quote unquote, committed suicide? Mm-hmm. That you go, well, where did you land? What were you thinking happened to her?
I think... my original assumption was that she jumped out of the window because she couldn't stand what she had found out. But the fact that they have her necklace, that Tannis root charm...
Which is not real, by the way.
Right. No, it's
fictional,
made-up herb. But the fact that they have it kind of gives you the idea that they might have pushed her over the edge.
Yeah, yeah.
And the timing, because Rosemary shows up. And they say multiple times, like towards the end, you've been chosen, everything lined up so that you could be the perfect mother to Satan's son. Mm. So I am kind of leaning more towards they pushed her. And it does make them a little more dangerous, like a little more frightening. Not that they're not dangerous enough.
Well, they do. There's multiple things. Yeah, there's a lot of scheming.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of scheming in here. That part made me really uncomfortable. Was just because she's polite, and like her having a social awareness made her like go along with things that she wouldn't necessarily go along with or didn't really want to.
And because Guy was encouraging her to, he was pushing her to. Every time she asks to stop seeing the Castavets or to distance herself from them, Guy would tell her, no, that's rude. You can't do that. You have to be fair. You have to be nice. It was just more manipulation to play on her naturally, soft and innocent demeanor.
Right.
They took that and used it as a manipulation tactic.
They weaponized it.
Right.
Yeah. Very effectively, too, because... Yeah, she, again, in the book, in her thoughts, she's very, much not interested in it. And then she succumbs to it because she feels like, I don't really want to be rude to these people either.
Right.
To the point of, with the smoothie, the vitamin drink. I noticed, have you ever seen the movie Hereditary?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a callback with the herbs they give the baby and the mom and Toni Collette's character.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember she drinks this weird drink, tea or something, and then she's pulling spices or something out of her mouth?
I mean,
and I was that's got to be a call out.
That's a common element in witchcraft in general.
How do you know that?
Worship.
Are you a witch?
I'm not.
You wore black today.
In the spirit. Yes.
In the spirit, yeah. It may not have been, but it felt like a call out. It felt like a nod. It felt like a nod to Rosemary's Baby, in my opinion. Because if I were a filmmaker, I'd be like, how do we shout something out that I'm inspired by?
I think there's a lot of movies and literature since Rosemary's Baby that calls it out.
Tannis root?
No, just the themes in general, the whole flipping religion on its head and reversing those dynamics, creating a world where the devil is your next door neighbor. And you are so exposed to it. That's been done over again. Or the theme of a woman growing something inside of her that is demonic and terrible, and you're the vessel for this. It's literally sucking life out of you, but you still have that maternal bond. You see that theme played out before in other things.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a discussion too, very briefly. I kind of wanted to save a little bit more for this, where you asked me if I thought what happens at the end when she decides to, her motherly instinct takes over, or you can decide what actually is happening. In the book, it's a little bit more clear that there's ambiguity. But in the movie, you're like, does she decide I'm just going to take care of it now? And is it influence from the witchcraft, or is it her decision?
I mean, I think it's her character arc. I think it is, like, it's the first time she gets to actually make a choice. Like, she conceives out of essentially rape, and then things are forced on her left and right throughout her pregnancy. Like, this is the first time that she gets to make a decision. And it's honestly another way that they manipulate her, because they stand back and they let her make that decision.
She decides she doesn't like the name.
Right. And
She's
they
like,
say, that's okay. Just be a mother. You don't have to worry about it.
You're right.
Just mother the child. So she does come to a point to where she's reached that arc and she's got some agency and she's doing things for herself. But at the same time, it's still what they want.
Right. It's within the parameters they set.
Right. It's still, like, they weren't intending on her raising the baby, but it was a happy coincidence.
Right. And well, in the book, it's more clear that she's like, well, I could conceive of an idea of me running away with it and taking it to the church and taking it to the Pope and hoping to raise it not evil or whatever. So there's a little bit more thought there as far as, like, I like the ending in the movie better, where it's like she does turn, and like you said, it kind of is the first time she feels like she's making a choice. So I kind of like that because it's a little bit more tragic. It means, the devil won. It gets to live and be cared for and become the next thing. And
the idea is, like, there's this prophecy that it's going to rise up and defeat all those who oppose Satan, regardless. So I think that's why, like, they're not too worried about her taking the baby. I don't know why they wouldn't assume that she would try to take the baby.
Well, they've got everything under control already. Everybody in that apartment is probably associated with this. Everybody, her doctor, like they even say, like, oh, you smell like, the doctor smells like your necklace or whatever. Yeah. You're like, everybody she's interacting with is a part of this. And anybody that, like, genuinely tries to open her eyes to some of this is disposed of. Like Hutch. Is it Hutch or Hitch? Something like that?
Yeah.
They dispose of him
he winds up in a coma the day he's going to tell her about the things he's found. And
got to give you this book. He had to give you this book.
Yeah.
All Them Witches, which some band out there took that as their band name.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. The party they're having. And then her friends, her actual friends, not the random neighbors that are being friendly. Her actual friends are like, what's going on? They're telling you it's normal to lose weight. Concerned. Yeah, immediately. Yeah. Because it's obvious. And she's been, I hate using gaslight because I think,
oh, she's being gaslit.
Sure.
For sure.
Well, this isn't well, because people say it all the time when it's just like somebody's disagreeing with you, or like,
no, but this is real.
This is an example of what gaslighting looks like. Right. This is real gaslighting. Because I feel like it's one of those, like, irony, that people throw around a lot and they kind of use it improperly. And I think gaslit is one of those things that's irritatingly used.
It's a buzzword for sure.
But they're like, what the fuck is going, like, wake up. Well, fuck that. We'll get you a new doctor. The doctor is okay with you losing weight. You're supposed to be gaining weight. What are they tell you not to take the vitamin pills? And then she brings it up to Guy and he's like, oh, you're gonna hurt Dr. Subsist, whatever. Yeah, you're gonna hurt his feelings. The fuck? She goes, what about my feelings?
Yeah.
I'm like, the first sensible thing she said in the movie.
Yes, she starts to like question that, and
Yeah.
he shuts it down hard and like makes sure that she's not going to bring it up again.
Right.
By reacting so extremely, and he doesn't react too big or angrily about a lot of things unless it's her questioning that control, and that's when he starts to like play this big like, well, you're not being very nice, you're not being like, essentially you're not being the perfect little 60s housewife. Just do what you're told, and you're a silly woman.
Yeah, I almost want to like just start reading it again right now. The movie is really almost irritating to me.
I liked the movie. I think Mia Farrow was the perfect
She's great
portrayal of Rosemary. Very innocent, like her whole face, her whole thing was just innocence and light and youth. She did that really well. It also allowed you to see like some of these concepts, like I mentioned earlier, color was a big thing. It lets you like see that, like how prevalent the color yellow is in the movie. It's insane. There's just rooms of nothing but yellow. And then Rosemary wearing red on the nights that like the baby, something happens with the baby. The night she feels the baby for the first time, she's wearing red. The night that she's impregnated, she's wearing red. So anytime something like that happens, she has like these devil colors on. And that is like, it's mentioned in the book, which is another example of how accurate the like.
Oh, it's most
the
of it is
adaptation
very
is,
spot on.
It just like puts it right there in your face.
Yeah, totally. You know what it is? You know why I think I'm rating it so low now that I think about it. Well, first off, going back and watching movies from the 60s, they're naturally going to feel like they're produced and edited to be a little bit slower paced and whatever. And it's not like a special effects show or anything like that. But I think it's knowing what's going on with our director.
Yeah.
It's hard to not see it when you know. And it's one of those, we've had this argument, not you and I, but just in general, I've had this argument over and over about separating the artist from the art. And when you see because for those of you out there, our director here is hiding out basically in France because he got in trouble for some lewd behavior, very similar to what happens in this story. And that made me uncomfortable, and I guess it should have anyways, but knowing that like he did something similar, it's hard to like be like, oh, what a great scene.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To appreciate the artistry when you think that it may have been
supposed event happened I think after the movie. I think the event the event happened after the movie, so it's like I don't know. It was tough for me to watch.
That's understandable.
Yeah, knowing that it's there.
The first time I watched the movie, I didn't really know who Roman Polanski was. I've seen it several times afterwards, and I know who that is. But I think it like allowed me to enjoy a little more. Does that mean you should? Because
everyone's going to land on different areas.
People, that you might have to associate the artistry with the art and refuse to take part in that kind of what almost seemed like fantasy role play.
Right. That's what I was having a hard time. Like, because you almost think he thought about the movie when stuff was happening. I don't know. I got uncomfortable with it.
But also how closely the book and the movie are. These are all.
This is something he
Levin's
took
ideas.
from here.
I mean, there's scenes that
you're making a really good point.
There are scenes that are entire dialogue, entire pages worth of the book, just scripted into that
note
scene.
for note. Yeah.
That doesn't mean Polanski didn't have a huge influence on the way the movie was made. I mean, he's the director; he has to.
Right.
It's a tricky subject.
It's a tricky thing because yeah, you could be a purist and you can be like, well, I'm just gonna watch the art for what it is, whatever. And I was really trying to do that. It was, I think it was just that scene that like got me uncomfortable in that way. The rest of it, I don't know, maybe like subconsciously I was like just going like, oh, this is terrible because I think he's a piece of shit. So I didn't want to give him the benefit of being like, I'm gonna not consider that you're a piece of shit. I don't know. I mean, overall, I think even if I didn't know that, I would look at this movie and go, God, like, get the fuck on with it. Like something happened, you know?
Yeah. Having read the book, you enjoy the movie a little more. We'll say it. I saw the movie before I saw the book. You said you did too. It's especially slow when you don't know the ending.
Right.
When you don't recognize like all the little things that are off and all the little signs, because you can miss it the first watch through.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But reading the book like really puts you in her headspace, and you do kind of enjoy the movie a little more, which again links back to like the artistry here is in the writing. It's in the concept.
I had the opposite. I think I enjoyed it less after I read it.
Oh,
I wish I could have read the book without any influence of knowing the movie or whatever, and wondered if I could have picked up on all the cues, because every chapter feels like has an allusion to what's going on.
Oh yeah,
he's like, there's something shady going on. She doesn't get it, but are you paying attention? So having knowing the story immediately, I'm picking up on all the stuff as it's happening. Which did that make the reading experience better? Maybe the movie made the reading experience better. Because when I saw it, I was like, I got you, fucker.
Yeah,
I know what you're doing, Roman.
True.
I know what's going on here.
It works vice versa. You can, just knowing the story,
right?
Which I think most people do, even if they haven't read the book or seen the movie. It's pretty iconic.
It depends. I think you have to. People nowadays have to go back and look for it.
That is true.
You know, for me, I grew up
very old.
I grew up with Blockbuster, you know.
Yeah.
So whenever they would have movies, it was like, oh, we'll go back and watch a movie that my dad used to like or whatever. And then now it's like, if you're not actively searching for it, you're not just gonna it's on TV, it's on CBS right now, so we're just gonna watch it. You know, it's different. The concept of viewing films is different.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, somebody in their like 20s right now doesn't know what the fuck this is.
That's probably true.
I mean, overall, obviously you're going to have your people that are just film snobs like right away. Like I was kind of like that when I was in my early 20s. I wanted to see all the things.
I also think because it ostracizes such a huge amount of people, like it really puts off anyone who is devoutly religious or like heavily believes in these things. They don't want to touch anything that is satanic, so it kind of fades quicker than movies like The Exorcist or like things that are notable to pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, does this movie like make people want to be more religious or less? You know, like if we were to like tally, like does it? Yeah, like because you can land either way. You know, people are going to be like, oh, it didn't change anything. But like some people that really wrestle with their faith constantly, I wonder what this movie made them feel and what it made them think. Because if you've landed on, okay, this stuff's real, then something like what happens in the story is gonna happen. Or has just happened and we're going to see the end of it. So they have to think like, okay, there is a secret, you know, cabal of evil people.
I mean, witchcraft is very real to a lot of people.
Yeah, but satanic stuff specifically.
Right.
You know.
Even satanic witchcraft, though, is still very real. The Satanic Church still operates. I think it's still a very real fear for a lot of people.
Yeah. But I think if you were to investigate a lot of these people in this Church of Satan and all that stuff, they're just edgelords. They're not like, how are they, like, where is the witchcraft?
Right.
Show me a spell that works. How do you prove it so we can be like, okay, it's real?
Yeah.
And why is that hidden, you know? Just like you could make the other argument where you go, okay, if you think, there's angels and stuff, like, you can't prove that either.
Right. I was gonna say, and I mean that's part of the appeal in either. Is that it
Right, but if you
gives
have
you
to,
something.
if you're actively doing witchcraft, you have to have something to show for it. Otherwise, it's not real. Right?
Do you think people like who claim that they have witnessed actual benefits from witchcraft, like, are they lying? Are they crazy?
I think that if they're the type of people that grew up, maybe, like, let's say they grew up with Catholicism, they've decided this isn't for me. They decided that because they figured out that it doesn't work. So if you use that logic and apply it to witchcraft, it still doesn't work. If you go, well, I need to see it to believe it. Like, what has to happen for someone to go,
Right.
witchcraft is real?
Seeing it.
It's just community. It's like, it's just being around like-minded people, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
And like, if there is some secret group of people trying to bring the Antichrist, like, where's the rule book on how to do it?
Yeah.
Like, part of the fun of the horror of this is like that it's a mystery that you don't know. Like, there could be something like that out there, but who do I ask to see this? Where do I see the witchcraft book that this is the ritual we do to bring the Antichrist in? You have to find a version of this lineage of blood or whatever,
And
like,
who
whatever
wrote the
arbitrary bullshit. Yeah, who wrote it?
Yeah.
And how do they know it works? It's only supposed to happen one time.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's never been tested.
Yeah, they can't recreate that test. All right. We got into some heady territory there. Let's see what's up here. Okay, so did you know in the movie Mia Farrow was a vegetarian, actually devoured raw liver for that scene.
Wow.
It wasn't like fake, like gelatin or something that was like that was actual organ. I mean, not that gelatin isn't, but it wasn't like made to be more appealing to her. It was like, eat this.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that part, but I know that they made her do some fucked up things.
What else do you know?
The scene where she like runs out into the street.
Yes,
that was filmed like just in a live street. There was no barrier. She was just running into the street.
It feels like an urban legend, like a film urban legend. It feels that way. Who am I to say that it wasn't true? But I think it's probably true. It looks a little bit. It looks a little bit raw. The footage looks real raw. Like they're using like like someone's walking around with a video camera, not a studio behind it. Yes. It looks like real streets and real traffic.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, they did a lot of crazy things to make movies. There were not as many safety regulations.
Right. This might have been one of the reasons there were some after that.
Possibly.
Did you ever hear that?
Oz, but that's a different...
Oh, God. Yeah. We can talk all day about that. The silver on the Tin Man. Did you ever hear there's a famous one in The Exorcist, and again, it sounds like movie urban legend, where he's listening to the recording of the demon talking backwards. The priest is by himself, and it's creepy, and you're like, whoa. And it's dark, and he's at the reliquary or whatever, and the phone rings, and he like looks. He gets like shocked by the phone ringing out of nowhere, and apparently to get him to react like that, he shot off a shotgun blank.
Oh,
to make the loud noise for him to like turn around like that. And I like to believe it. I like to think that they did some wild shit like that back then, but it also sounds like a movie urban legend. Like, would they really do that? I don't know. It could have been a noise of anything. It could have been a firecracker. It doesn't have to be a shotgun.
Yeah, that's true. Why do they have a live shotgun on set?
I don't know. Mia Farrow did a version of the audiobook of this.
She did.
She did.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not an audiobook fan myself.
I'm not either, but I bet that's...
But I looked up as I was kind of like taking random notes for this. That was one of the ones that I came across. Somebody was like, "Oh, I loved the audiobook of this. Mia Farrow actually does the narration." I looked into it, and it's true. There's a version out there of Mia Farrow doing that, which is really fucking cool.
That's her, yeah.
I appreciate that very much. I'm a little annoyed that I don't have a Scrabble board, because I would have had Scrabble pieces all over the table if I could have done that.
All of them witches.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was, I found to be that actually her like figuring it out. I really appreciated that. It was such a simple, like, her like playing with the tiles to rearrange the letters. It just felt very real. It felt like, you know, because like, what would you do? You'd use an app to like do that now. It just, her using what she had, and there was something like, it was really quaint.
Well, she's earlier in the movie, she's playing Scrabble with Hutch.
Right.
So it's very much like, and they paint her from the start as a very intelligent woman.
Right.
She's reading a lot. She's like picking up on small things. She just doesn't have much like agency.
She's a housewife. Yeah.
Yeah. And she desires this perfect life, so she looks past a lot of things, but she is very smart, just naive.
Yeah. Is it like obvious that they did a ritual or something getting Rosemary like this that improved his station in life, guys?
Yeah, he gets that part
because somebody went blind.
Yes, someone goes blind.
The person who had the part he wanted. Mm-hmm. So
and it happens.
It never says it, right? It's implied that they did something to make this happen through magic. So I guess that's our proof that.
Because it happens like the day after they have dinner with the Castevets, and he winds up having a private conversation with Roman. And Rosemary doesn't really know what they talk about, but he tells her later, and he's like, I love his stories. He's so interesting. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, they get the phone call that he's got this part. So I think it's definitely...
It's implied.
Yeah,
okay.
Heavily implied. The book's not very subtle.
Yeah, because you have the thoughts. You're not just like watching the screen going like, oh, I wonder what she's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has to say all this stuff out loud to get it across to an audience. But in the book, it is kind of like, yeah. Well, I just didn't know how obvious that was. I was like, you know, because I knew the story already. I was like obviously picking up on all of it. But I wonder if it was obvious to the average reader of it. Let's say they never watched it or read it. Would they put it together? Yeah,
I think so. With either the book or the movie, I think you'd probably imply there might be like an air of mystery, which aids to the spooky feeling, that like feeling of suspense. I do think you would put it together, especially after Hutch winds up dying, falling into a coma and dying. Mm-hmm. It's like another example that concretes the idea that like they are actively committing murder.
Right.
And then you look back on Terry and the woman who lived in the apartment before, who also went into a coma.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what was the logic or what was the thinking behind making her sick by birthing the Antichrist.
You know, I was thinking about that on the way over, and I wasn't really sure. I'm not sure if the sickness comes from, like, the toll, like it's sucking the life out of her. Probably takes a lot of energy to grow the Antichrist, I'm assuming.
Yeah, or was it the smoothie? Was it the, you know?
She they make a big deal about her starting to feel better after she makes her own smoothie.
Right.
Her friends convince her to throw the smoothie away, and she starts drinking the smoothie. So it's possible that the sickness was another means of control. Keep her going to Dr. Saperstein.
Because you would think, because I'm thinking like you would want her to be well fed.
Right. Healthy.
Yeah.
All the good things. Her losing weight and everything, I don't know, maybe it's both.
I think maybe they should have done, I don't know, who am I going to tell Polanski what he should have done? But, where maybe her, like, the rest of her frame is thin still, but they gave her a really big belly. So it's like, well, yeah, you look like you're really frail big, and kind of sick, but you're doing really well. The baby's very healthy. You know, if they had thrown in a line like that, then you go, okay, well, you could make the argument, okay, it is sucking the life out of her, but it's, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I was just like, I just don't get the point of making her sick.
I wasn't sure why she was getting sick, and then I wasn't sure if the reason it stopped all of a sudden was because they were losing control on her. And it needed, but like the fetus wouldn't have that wherewithal.
It might.
Like she was pulling away from them because the sickness was making her so miserable. And it stopped the second she was about to. Like they were in an argument about how she was going to go to another doctor.
She's like, I feel better
and
already.
Then all of a sudden it just goes away. So who made that happen? Was that like the fetus, like the demonic influence, or did the Cassavetes somehow have a hand in that as well? Or not just them, but the entire satanic cult that was living in the building.
Yeah, the entity of the cabal. I don't know. And that's part of the beauty of it is there's mystery behind it. You're just under the... all we need to know is this shit isn't normal. Mm. You know, I guess. But I would have liked the other way around where we go, you know, maybe she is having these weird things like wanting to eat raw meat and whatever, but making her like frail.
Yeah.
Like you do that through her personality. You do that through her like physically being that is weird when you're trying, like, I just don't.
And maybe they are just making her more vulnerable.
Yeah. Or like I would have liked some conversations where they, like, again, it's a part of the like psychological control where they get her to say things like talk about why she doesn't go to church on Sundays anymore or something, like get her to
explored her
to like reiterate why she didn't marry a Catholic man or something, like just to put to twist the knife a little bit or something, you know. That I would have liked more stuff like that, I guess. Yeah, it's fine. It's not really missing anything. I'm just trying to think, like, because that would have cemented that concept a little bit more. I
mean, my main complaint about the book is that it wasn't long enough.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been.
I wanted more.
It could have been like 50% longer
about her past and all of these things, but I guess its length is also part of why beauty. It's so abrupt and jarring and mysterious.
Do you think a new version of this would work? A new movie adaptation, yeah.
Yeah. And I would like them to... They made one in 2014. It did not go over well.
A movie?
Yeah. I don't even remember it. I saw it today.
I'm gonna watch it today.
I think
that's
it's like
crazy.
Zoe Saldana or something.
Well, okay, because I've seen they did Psycho. You see that? They did Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, classic, whatever. But they remade it in like the 90s or the early 2000s. But they didn't change anything. Like in terms of like the shots are exactly the same.
Yeah.
The actors and it's in color. It's like the only thing that's different.
Okay.
And you go, why'd you even fucking do it then? Part of the reason why it's such a faithful adaptation is because Polanski didn't think that he could. It just didn't occur to him that he could make some changes, like major changes, aside from just trimming it down for the film. That he didn't think that he could have thematically done something a little bit different or had some scenes that don't really take place in this to make it more his own. It just didn't occur to him, is what they were saying. I don't know how true that is.
Like it didn't occur to him because it was already
that maybe that this was
original form.
Yeah, maybe that it. Yeah. I don't know what Polanski had done before it. I don't know if he'd done like several movies or how many of them were adaptations.
I think he was still an up and comer.
Right.
His name
I'm
was
getting the
like
vibe very
whispered,
much.
And people knew him as this like young European director. I don't think he had really cemented himself. The producer was actually not very reputable either. When it first got picked up, and then I forget who it was. There's another production company that like shoveled money into it and like gave it life. So they were working with a lot of first comers. Mia Farrow at the time was mostly known as
Frank Sinatra's
wife. Yeah. She hadn't done a whole lot except for like TV series.
Right.
So I think it started with very little expectations. And it was
which
just
makes
so sensational.
Which makes me think that that's probably true. That they were like, oh, well, I'm going to take on this project, and then I'll just try to make it exactly what the book is.
Right.
Because I didn't realize that I could just make my own decisions about it. I could ask for rewrites.
Yeah. The movie was actually condemned by the Catholic Church.
Oh, shocking.
Like pretty quickly. And there's argument that like that helped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Popularity.
Absolutely.
That people were like, oh, I'm going to go see this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would have been me. Like if I were a teenager when this came out or whatever. Mm-hmm. If I'd found out, oh, the church that my grandma is, about is very anti this, I'm going to go fucking watch that.
Yeah.
I can very much see that being, what do they call that? They call it like the Streisand effect or something. Did you ever hear about this? So Barbara Streisand, apparently like her house went up on some website about a real estate website or whatever. So you could like look at different addresses and see what the house looks like. And it was getting some views and she like made a big stink. Get my fucking house off this website and made this whole thing. And all of a sudden the 60 hits that website got for looking at her address turned into like thousands. Because she made a stink about it. Yeah. Because she fucking said something.
Because now it's a big deal.
You made it a big deal. No one fucking wanted to know where the fuck you lived. Like, now everyone wants to know because they know they can look.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite like Hollywood or like famous people like things. It's just like, you don't think that would happen? Like you're just making it worse by like getting angry about it. Catholic Church condemned this movie, but there's like curse stuff associated with this.
Oh yeah.
We haven't gotten to that yet. We haven't talked about Charlie Manson yet, which we don't need to go too much on, but Polanski's wife got murdered.
She was Sharon Tate.
Yes.
Didn't
got
just
murdered.
Get murdered. One of the most sensational.
Yeah, a big thing. And there was a connection to the Beatles with Helter Skelter.
Right.
And then the White Album, that's like what he said. It was like race war bullshit in there. But then there's another connection to the Beatles with this movie. Did you hear about this?
Are you talking about Mia Farrow?
What did you hear?
Time with the Beatles?
No, something else. But
after the movie, she spent a little while like hanging out with the Beatles and like in India as some retreat.
Sounds about right.
And they wrote Sexy Sadie about Mia Farrow.
Oh.
And about how much she got harassed by people while they were out traveling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a common thing over there. No, what I was going to say is the...
Oh, John Lennon.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's pretty wild.
The Dakota building, that's like it's like the last building in the opening shot. It's a famous building in New York City. But it's the same... Landmark. Yeah, I think it is a landmark. It's the same building that John Lennon was shot in front of.
Right. Years after.
Right.
But still, yes.
Right.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, back to Sharon Tate, she was pregnant.
Yeah.
When she was married, it was very, there was a lot of conspiracy and like hush-hush underground whispering that this was related back to Roman Polanski. Because he had just directed Rosemary's Baby. And there was this thought that the Manson family wanted Sharon Tate's baby for that.
Maybe.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
I mean...
I could see it. I'm not going to say I disagree or that I agree, but I could see it. I haven't necessarily heard that one, but I'm like, that's right up their alley.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if they discussed that.
A couple other people on the production crew died. Their composer died. And then I think
there was one of the actors that complained about getting some kind of major illness while he was working on it.
Right.
Which, whatever, movie, it's like you work with, I don't know how many people on movies. Like accidents are going to happen, especially back then.
Yeah. And which, if you want to talk about hauntings, like the Dakota building was considered haunted before they even started filming. So is the connection to the story itself or to the building where they filmed it?
Yeah, right. I get down with haunted buildings. I'd like to stay in one. And the logical part of my brain is like, ghosts aren't, it's not real, it's not true, whatever. but I've seen some stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't discount some of the things that I've seen, and I have to live with the mystery of, well, what the fuck was it then? I don't want to always assume everything unexplained is a ghost or whatever, but there's some stuff we don't understand.
For sure. I know that we already discussed, and like one of my favorite thematic elements of both the book and the movie, but is like the importance that they place on cutting her hair. That is such a biblical reference. It hits so many points in the movie. It hits the feminism, like her cutting her hair, damned what her husband thinks, even though he ridicules her for
he's like a dickhead about it.
He's the worst. Guy Woodhouse is the worst person.
This guy
on
fucking
the planet.
sucks.
Yeah, he's so awful.
Like, I wanted to hit him I don't know how many fucking times.
But then, like, the idea that your hair is like your power and gives you some sort of like spiritual connection.
The guy that has Hercules powers.
It's Samson and
Delilah. Yeah. So
there
there's
are
like
other
power. Yeah, of course.
Where hair
of course.
is very important.
Yeah, there's some like the Pentecostals, they like don't let the girls cut their hair because it's supposed to be divine in some way. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's a connection of that. And what does it mean in terms of feminism, or the idea just?
I mean, just that she's like separating herself from her husband. She probably knows he's not going to like it.
Oh,
she's just doing what makes her feel comfortable. She's probably figured out by now that anything that asserts her own dominance, he's not going to like.
Yeah. And his name's Guy.
Right. Yeah.
That's a little on the nose.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The names are a really big thing with Levin. He's got
Roman
everyone in their little...
Yeah. Roman, Minnie.
Yes.
Guy. Mary.
But she cuts her hair like as a show of both femininity and like agency. And it's
a protest.
It's also, isn't it the day that she stops hurting? Doesn't she cut her hair before the party, or is it...
That's
a
good...
couple days before?
Honestly, I don't remember, but it wouldn't shock me if that were the case. Mm-hmm. That probably lines up. But yeah, I remember that being a big thing. I remember the first time I saw this, I must have been, I don't know, teenager or whatever, watching it, trying to like, I'm going to watch Exorcist, I'm going to watch all the scary movies or whatever. And I remember like being very confused because Mia Farrow is a beautiful lady, haircut or not.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, why the fuck did she do that? I was like, why did they let her like make herself ugly? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm telling my teenage thoughts.
Right. It's this like ingrained societal belief that hair is somehow...
Well, they make her specifically look like it's a boy haircut. It's not just like that she does something kind of wild with her hair. It's like she went like she got like a boy's haircut. And that's where like the feminism thing comes in, because I see that. I've seen that now, not to judge anybody. Do you? Fuck everybody else. Mm-hmm. Do you? But like I've seen that as a, I get compliments on how beautiful I am because of my hair or whatever, and I don't want to be looked at like that. So I'm gonna have an ugly haircut. I'm gonna get a mullet because fuck you.
Yeah.
That's not all I am.
Because I'm tired of being just an ends to your means.
Objectified.
And, yeah. Exactly.
So that's like where I looked at it now. Like when I saw it today, I was like, wow, that's a pretty common thing that I see today is people going like, well, just going through a transformation right now.
Right. And it does like signal her transformation, where she starts to push back a little bit.
Yeah, ask some fucking questions.
Also wild that Dr. Hill turns her in. The second doctor she goes to for a second opinion, and he calls,
that's definitely a commentary on...
Calls the husband.
Yeah,
that's definitely a throwback to feminism.
Yeah, that's definitely a commentary on...
The idea that women...
The man of your house is supposed to know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And that women lose their sense when pregnant. Their doctors trust them less. Mm-hmm. All of these things, like she was able to be manipulated and controlled because of the confounds of like her culture and her society. Might have happened anyway, because she's just she's a vulnerable character.
Yeah, well, we see her like learn not to be. We
Right.
see her, yeah.
Yes.
That's part of her thing. Again, that's why like the tragedy of it is that she ends up just going along with it.
Mm-hmm. But pregnancy is such a
Well, being like you can
complicated
tell society to go fuck itself, but at the end of the day,
everyone
if you
wants
carried this
something
baby
to do with your pregnancy.
Yeah. It's biological. It's life.
So it's normalized. Like, other people don't raise alarm to the fact that she's being essentially poisoned by her neighbors and controlled by her husbands and gaslit by her doctors, because, like, that's normal. During pregnancy, everyone gets to have a say in what you're doing. And it's easy to paint her as, like, crazy when she starts to raise alarms. It's just this hysteria that is, like, given to women.
Right. The first place the doctor goes is, she's just acting irrational. She's crazy right now. Yeah.
Which she does sound crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, from somebody who doesn't know what's going on,
right.
That you go, okay, this is an unsafe.
It sounds really
This is probably
bad.
Not good for the baby either. Also,
exactly.
She looks like she's not eating enough, and so you figure, I don't know, you don't. It's complicated, isn't it? Yeah, because what do you do?
And she's afraid that if she comes off as crazy, she's going to lose the baby. That they're not going to let her take care of the baby. So it's like, even the one moment she decides to trust somebody, they like turn on her.
Right.
Dr. Hill, yeah.
God. Wow, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you think, without knowing anything, if you were to read this, you would think, I don't know, maybe it's obvious to you, but I would have thought, like, if a lady wrote this, like I think a lady wrote this is what I would have landed on if I didn't know.
I did.
If you were just given
Ira
this,
Levin was a woman the first time I heard the author's name.
Right. Because it could. I think it's pretty interchangeable. It's like like Aaron or something, where it's one of those names where you can use it either way.
It's fantastic that an atheist man
was able
to write a book whose main themes are religion and feminism. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's why I marked it so high, because I was like, this feels real. It feels like a legitimate, like, if someone were to pen my thoughts about how I felt about religion when I was like growing up, and like how I still get a sting every now and then, where it like comes in when I'm not trying to. Yeah. Like it's so ingrained in me that even like I'm not a believer. Just whoever might be watching this knows that already, probably, and I think you know that also. But it is hard to like shed completely. For sure.
I'm also not a believer, but every time I say "God damn it," there's a part of me that goes, "Oop, don't say that." Don't do that. Like I'm gonna get in trouble for saying it somehow. Because I kind of felt that way about this book. Yeah. There was a part of me that was like, I shouldn't be reading it.
Yeah, it's like naughty almost, like in the best way. Yeah.
Like it's the kind of thing I would not want to tell my dad I read.
Right. Right. Man, what an incredible book.
Yeah, it's so good.
I haven't started this one yet, Sliver, but he's apparently got some pretty good ones. He wrote Stepford Wives. That's one of them. I want to
read Stepford Wives, yeah.
So knowing that he's got this like feminist bent to the story, that might be in there. I started reading Son of Rosemary. As you can tell, I've got a bookmark in there. It's really odd.
Yeah, I've heard it's weird. I haven't started
it. It's weird, and I definitely want to know where it goes. But the concept of it is she like, because they have to age up our Antichrist. Right. The story can't go anywhere if it's like a little kid. You can't do the Omen again. So she's like in a coma in the beginning, and then she wakes up and he's a grown ass adult, and then they're having to navigate it. One of the weirder details of it, and I won't spoil any of it, but one of the weirder details of it is they're selling candles to everybody in the world. They want everybody in the world to get a candle. And they're going to try to light it. And I don't remember if it's like New Year's or what day it falls on.
Oh yeah, that doesn't seem like a satanic ritual at all.
Right. Because I'm going, don't do that, guys. But him, because he's in politics, right? So he's trying to orchestrate it to where everybody does it at the same time on Earth. So they're trying to coordinate it to where like different parts of the world, it's like 3 a.m. over here, it's like 12 p.m. over here, and everyone's going to do it at the same time. light the candle. And we don't know what the point of it is or what it's gonna culminate into. But it's like a weird detail. And I'm like, what are they doing with these candles?
Yeah.
And you can see actually on the front of this, there's a candle.
Oh, there's a candle.
Yeah. So I'm definitely interested. It's definitely nowhere near as good as this. I want to just read it just to complete it and say that I know what's going on. But man, what a wonderful book here. And I really want to read more of Ira Levin's stuff.
Yeah. Actually, this one, the sequel, it was the last book that he wrote. And
he passed away after that.
He said in interviews that it was just to like fund him through the next couple of decades. Like they needed one more knock out the park, and a sequel to his arguably most successful novel was what he needed.
Oh, that makes me a little sad.
Yeah. I don't know how true that is.
Because,
no, there's
totally makes sense.
But
is he alive still?
No.
Do you know? He died?
Yeah.
Okay. You said last, but that could have meant he just hasn't written anything else. Because I think it came out in like the 90s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we did it. Unless you got any more points that you want to bring up. No, this has been fantastic. You should come back on the show. Let's do something else.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Would you have anything in mind that you would like to discuss, or just maybe something with a little less work? Having to read and watch a movie and take notes and compare.
No, well,
or if that's your bag, we can totally do it because I'm here for it.
I mean, I like doing it, but my mind tends to like mix details.
Oh,
and with this one, it wasn't a problem because they're so close.
That's basically the same. I just thought
I wanted to do Tender as the Flesh, but it might be a little too crazy for.
You know what's cool about not being sponsored? There's no rules here. I self censor.
I would read that book again and feel just.
You want to do that? I'm down.
The first time.
I'm down to do Tender as the Flesh.
For sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Cool. We have what we're gonna do next with Michaela. You might join us on, if you're down, join us on one of the other like a Shyamalan movie or something stupid if you wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, for you and me for sure, I'm down to do that.
Okay.
Cool. All right, I think we're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let us know in the comments what's going on. Did you prefer the book? Did you prefer the movie? Were there any things that we missed in our discussion that you want to harp on about? Let us know. Let us know how much fun you had having Michaela on, too, because she did a great job. We're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much.